All right, Mallory, we have one last little thing before we get out of here. If you would flash up on the screen.
No.
Okay, fine.
Just kidding.
For those listening, you can go to our go to TexasFootball.com, by the way, and check out Carter's midseason check-in piece, where he talked over the Texas teams in contention right now for conference titles. Right now, we have 7 listed: Texas, A&M, SMU, Tech, Sam Houston, North Texas, and Texas State. Of course, we're not saying these are the only teams and no other team, but right now, this is what he would bet on being in a conference championship game as opposed to the rest.
Yeah. We thought this was going to be a down year for Texas going into
Yeah, this is
I'll
huge.
say credit North Texas and credit Sam Houston.
There are
And
surprises.
I'll say SMU as well. I don't think we expected SMU to compete immediately in the. I did not expect them to.
I definitely
Mallory
said in the
didn't.
magazine that SMU is taking a step back, and Coach Lashley was like, "Yeah, no."
So-
He called me out for that.
So I will say, I'll throw A&M in there as well. I'll say A&M, SMU, Sam Houston, North Texas. Credit to those schools for upping what our expectations probably were for them, at least at this point. Because I think A&M, I would have picked them to lose to Missouri, in the summer last week, right?
Mm-hmm.
Texas State, obviously, we had high expectations for. Tech, it was a make or break year in a lot of ways. Texas, obviously, but everybody else, I'm pleasantly surprised.
Okay, so let's rank them based off who has the most likelihood to make the conference championship game.
That's hard.
Let's rank
3 tiers.
Okay, 3 tiers. Okay.
There's 1, you're in the driver's seat.
Okay.
There is 2, you're probably going to need some help.
Mm-hmm.
And there's 3, time will tell, kind of doubt it's going to happen right now.
Okay.
Okay.
Are we disagreeing on Texas being universal number 1 right now?
No.
Texas is number 1.
Yeah.
They're
Okay.
easily in the driver's
Yeah,
seat.
They
Okay.
control their own destiny. They're the only undefeated SEC program. They also have
That's
a margin
they
of
just look
error.
like besides Ohio State, they just look like the best team in the country right now.
Yes, I completely agree with that.
The other team in the driver's seat,
Mm-hmm.
Texas State.
You think so?
Really?
Because,
Okay.
look, they remind me so much of Texas Tech from last year,
Mm-hmm.
where they went into the season as preseason Big 12 champion dark horse.
Yeah.
Texas State was like preseason college football playoff dark horse.
Right.
And the shine is quickly rubbed off.
Mm-hmm.
But we were going to look at Texas State at the end of the year and be like, oh, they're still on track.
Yeah.
Or they still had a very successful year.
Sure.
Everything is to play for in the Sun Belt still.
I also think the rest of the schedule is pretty favorable towards Texas State too.
I think so too. I think we'll see this week, especially against Arkansas State, who's a team that rocked them last year. They're going to have big revenge on the mind there. I'll agree with that. Or actually, I'll keep. To me, they're 3. Like they're 3 in the. I think SMU is number 2. Right.
Okay, that's where we disagree. But
I
okay,
think
let's
SMU
get into
because
it.
you look at the ACC right now.
Mm-hmm.
Outside of Pitt and Cal on their schedule, I don't see a game where I would not pick SMU outright right now.
I completely agree with you on
I don't
that.
want to do the schedule game completely with all these teams, but just looking at the ACC, we obviously know they avoid Miami and Clemson on the schedule. Pitt, okay, they've been fine. They're ranked. Cal, I'm wondering by the time the season ends if they'll still be the same Cal as we've seen so far.
Mm-hmm.
Duke has not looked good. I don't think Malik Murphy's it, at least this season.
Duke's 5-1.
I don't think that offense has looked good.
Okay.
I don't think that offense.
They're a soft 5-1.
They're soft. To me, they're a soft 5-1. Now, Virginia has been really good this year. That's the other thing, is that they've avoided. I was talking to Clayton in the office about this as well. He's like, yeah, we avoided Miami and Clemson, but every other team we're playing is like off to their best start. I would still pick SMU pound for pound over those other teams.
What's really tough for SMU is Clemson and Miami also don't play each other.
That's a good point. Yeah.
So it's like
they need
they
somebody.
could have knocked each other out.
Yeah.
SMU is the biggest Louisville fans for the rest of the year.
Sure. Yeah.
Because they play both Clemson and Miami.
Yeah. So I don't know. I've kept track of Duke on the side just because I wanted to see what Malik Murphy does, and of course Jonathan Packey, former defense coordinator at Texas State's there now. Their defense has looked really good. I just do not think their offense is it.
So I had SMU in the had some help category because if they win out, they're in. I just don't think they're going to win out.
Sure.
So that's just where that disconnect comes in.
That's fair.
The team I had in the driver's seat, Sam Houston.
Really?
Because if they win out, they're in. And oh, by the way, Conference USA is not that good.
It's not that good, but I mean, Liberty's still tough.
Liberty's tough.
Liberty, they play Liberty and Jacksonville State.
Yeah.
Well, they play, let me say, Jacksonville State and then Liberty to close out the season. It could be a scenario where they play Liberty back to back, one in the end of the
conference
season,
championship.
one for the conference championship.
Yeah, that's a tough. They're I think probably in the next tier for me. But
They play Western Kentucky in 2 weeks.
Yeah,
Well,
no,
that's
we're
not
getting-
easy cakewalk either.
Look, we can talk about the the depth of Conference USA not being very good, but they're entering their tough slate of the schedule.
They're playing the tougher teams in Conference USA.
Sure. Yes, 100%. I don't disagree that Sam should still be a team on the fringe of the driver's seat for me. So, and then in rounding it out, I'm gonna go Tech, North Texas, A&M.
You're putting A&M last.
I think I'm putting A&M last right now. I think that they're a good team. I think they're a good team punching up to being a great team right now.
Okay, I know the schedule game is not fun, but let me just play with A&M.
Sure.
Their remaining schedule is Mississippi State, gross. LSU, which
they're not
the same LSU they've always been.
No,
South Carolina, who's kind of in a free fall. New Mexico State.
Oh my God. Okay.
Auburn.
Oh my God. Jeez. Okay.
Yeah.
And Texas.
All right.
Dude, we are in a
okay.
So that schedule sucks, like in a good way.
What if?
Oh my God. No,
the last game of the season,
Say
Texas A&M is for the SEC.
I know.
title.
That's what it was already the most anticipated game.
That's crazy.
And now it could be for all the marbles.
Yeah, that's. A
and
good
then
point.
and then I'm gonna pull out the magazine here.
There you go. Look at that promo.
And we're just gonna show it up
Oh
front.
man. I mean, he looked really good this past
That'd
week.
be
Connor
insane.
Wigman looked really good this past week. God, that's a good point. I did not look at their schedule.
Yeah,
Okay, fine. I'll switch UNT and A&M for now.
Okay. That's what I think too. We've talked UNT, and I just think they're a year away.
Yeah.
They're playing they've not played anyone really. They're about to play their hardest part of the schedule. They're still on track. I just think it's a little too early to go for the AAC Conference Championship.
Right.
So that makes Tech the interesting one.
Yeah. I think I think Tech needed to be punched in the mouth early in the year because I wanted to see. I just wanted because I think last year was against Wyoming, or it was like your get right game basically. Like, hey, boom, you're not as good as you think you are. Welcome back to reality. Now you can get right after this. I think they've had that, and I'm wondering now if we're starting to see them round in the right direction. Baron Morton's looking a lot more solid.
Mm-hmm.
The defense is looking more capable. The running game is finally starting to come into fruition, and they're not just having to rely on the run game a lot. So, I don't know.
They know who they are this year.
Yes.
And last year, to this point in the season, they still didn't know who they were.
Right. So,
which is what makes them scary.
Right. And so
the only team really left on their schedule that could, I guess, test them is Iowa State. In my opinion,
I was going to say, like,
they have a favorable schedule to round out the season.
Even if they played a tough Big 12 schedule, to me, I would still like them to not run the tables per se, but like I still like them coming out of that more unscathed than a UNT or an A&M in my opinion.
Yeah.
The Big 12 does scare me though, and that conference is complete chaos.
I was about to say this conference is. I don't even know the standings right now, but it's like
it's like inverted from what it was preseason.
Yes.
Already.
Iowa State's 8-1, or excuse me. Let me see. Looking at overall record.
BYU's up there.
Overall record right now: Iowa, Texas Tech, BYU. Iowa State, all 5 wins. Texas Tech, of course, has a loss. Colorado, Arizona State, Kansas State, Utah, 4 wins. TCU, Oklahoma State, Virginia Tech, Cincinnati, UCF, Arizona, 3 wins.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's insane. That's basically 1 to 13 being separated by like 2 games.
That's why I put Texas Tech in the time will tell category. So I think we pretty much agree.
Pretty on par.
I think so.
Except for I had Sam Houston a little bit higher.
Yeah.
And
I had SMU second for me.
And you had Texas A&M lower, but I think I convinced you Texas A&M's up.
I think Texas A&M is a little bit up. So, yeah.